G'day, Argy crew. Hope you're having a fantastic day today and your family's happy and healthy. I've been getting quite a few questions about my last video that I did on the paint job packer and how to create your own paint jobs or skins for trucks and trailers. And the questions I've been asked is, how do I actually make the skins for the trailers and such? I didn't do that in the last video because I was just trying to show you how to set it all up so that you can then do it yourself. But because I've been getting so many requests on how do I exactly do it, I'll do that for you now. But before I do, we'll get a few things out of the way. Argy Transport is actually a VTC that we've started up. And if you're interested, there'll be a link below. We do convoys, events, excuse me, and all that type of stuff. We have a great deal of fun. And if you're interested, like I say, there'll be a link below. Also, if you've got any questions, I've got a Discord, and again, the link will be below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because it helps out tremendously. All right, so what we'll do first is I'll explain to you what you need to do. You need to have a look at that video that I did previously. Again, I'll leave a link to that in the description below that shows you how to use the paint job packer. And then what you need to do is start creating your skins in your paint program of your choice. I use Gimp, so I'm going to show you how I do it in Gimp. And also you'll need to make sure that you've got that package that you get from Paint Job Packer loaded into the game and activated in your mods, because you'll need the game actually operating in the background. So as you can see, I have the game here running. I'm actually halfway through doing a paint job on this one, but I'm going to take you through a new one in a tick. So you'll have to have that running in the background. You want to have Gimp started, which I have here, and you can see this is a paint job that I'm working on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start one from scratch so you can see what it looks like. So I already have this package loaded into my mod folder in the game, and I have it activated. So I was working on the 50-foot trailer. Now I'm going to work on the 40-foot. And this is what it will look like when it's opened in Gimp for you. As you can see, that's a template, and that's all you're going to see when you originally open it up. Now, what I do to get ready for making my paint jobs or my skins for the trailers is I'll have the text and everything. Let me just make that so you can see it properly. Whoops, my mouse is a bit touchy. Sorry, people. Fit image to window. As you can see there, I have my logo, my text all set up, ready to rock and roll in the form of a PNG with a transparent background. Now, to do a transparent background, it's quite easy. I'll quickly do that for you now and show you how easy it is. We'll open a new window, and then what we'll do is we create a folder, a layer with transparency. So layer with transparency, whatever size you're using. Click OK. All right, now I can get rid of that background. Where are we? Delete layer. Now that's transparent. So that layer now is transparent. Then you can type all your stuff in there. Let's get some words happening. And as you can see, it's got a transparent background. So it's that easy. So all you need to do is open it up, drop a transparent layer. I'll show you again. So you go to Layer, Transparency, click OK, and then you have a transparent layer. Get rid of any background that's colored so that all you have is the transparent background, and away you go. Anyway, hopefully that explained that. We can close that now. All right, so back to this. So again, like I say, I have this already prepared on a transparent background, so I can drop it in onto my template. And I also have my logo by itself on a transparent background, ready to rock and roll. So these two things, let me just, sorry, it's not doing what I want it to do. That's all right. Doesn't matter. I'll leave it in that position. So you've got this set up on the transparent background. You've got your wording and signage set up on a transparent background. And now you've opened up the template. So what I do first to get my bearings is I will grab this. Now it does what I want it to do. And I drag it across onto the template and drop it in there. And then what I do is I position it roughly where I think it should go. And as you can see, it's slightly too big, but I drop it in there and then I'll save it. Okay, so now I've saved it. I can go into the game. I can change the trailer length to the 40 foot. And now I can see roughly where it is. So as you can see, it's a bit too big. I'm trying to get that so you can see. Let's do this. A bit too big. So it spans right across. It doesn't look right. I need it a little bit smaller. But at least now I know roughly what the position of it is. So then I can go back out into the program. And in Gimp, when you want to resize something, it's Shift S. And that brings up your scale window. So now I can bring that down to roughly what size I want it to be, which should be about there. Scale it. And then I can move it into position, roughly where I want it. So that's roughly central. Don't be too fussed with it. Just drop it in roughly where you want it. Save it again. Overwrite. Oh, by the way, let me do this. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. If you export as, click Export, Replace, and then make sure your compression formats and etc. are right. So your compression is BC3/DXT5. You want to save all visible layers, and you want to generate bitmaps. Leave everything else as it is, and then click Export. All right. So again, I'll show you that, so you can see what it's supposed to be. BC3/DXT5. All visible layers, generate bitmaps. All right. Then once you've done that, go back into the game and get out of here. It'll stay the same. So what you've got to do is change it, come back to it, and now it should be at the new size, which you can see it is. And that looks a lot better. So now that I've got that and I know, okay, that's roughly where I want it, I can now go back out again. There's a lot of toing and froing, but that's the way it is. And now what I do is I'll duplicate this layer because I now know it's the size I want. So I right click on it. I go to Layer, Duplicate Layer, and I've now got the Move tool. And I can bring that layer up. Now, there's one thing you've got to be careful of is that sometimes you'll find if you want to move this incrementally, you can just make sure you've got the Move tool on it, you've clicked on it, and then use your arrows on your keyboard to move it slightly one way or the other. All right. Actually, it could come down a bit too. I think it's too high. About there. So you've got to be careful with this other side here because sometimes you need to turn it around. It's upside down. So we're now doing this so we can see if it is upside down. So we're going to export to, go back into the game, click off it, click back on again so you can see it, and then come across here, and it's the right way up. But like I say, sometimes when you're doing the opposite side, you'll have to turn it around. And I'll show you how to do that in case you have to do it. Go back here. So the tool that you want is you go into Tools, Transform Tools, and then you want Rotate. And then you can grab it and just swing it around. But make sure it's at 180. So bring it up to 180 so it's exactly right and it's lined up. But we don't want to do that at the moment because I was just showing you how to do it. So again, all you do is go into Tools, Transform Tools, Rotate, and then this comes up and you can rotate it around. But again, like I say, we don't want that. So what we'll do is we'll undo that and put it back where it was. And to undo anything, you just go up to Edit and you do undo there. Okay. So now we know they're in the right position. What we want to do now is we want to, because we know this is the tarp on top, I put grey tarps on mine. So what I do is I get the rectangular select tool, which is up here, and I highlight that with the rectangular select tool. Okay, now you may be wondering why. I will show you. So now I add my base color. And to do that, I go to Add Layer or Create a New Layer. And I want it to change it to black. And if you have a look up in the corner here, my foreground color is gray, my background color is black. As you can see here in this corner here. Foreground color is gray, background color is black. So then I click on here and I select background color because black is what I want. So now I click OK. And you go, oh no, everything's disappeared. But that's okay. Come over to the bottom down here in the corner, in the right-hand bottom corner. Click on the layer, drag it down to where you want it, and drop it in. Now you can see everything is above it. All right, I'll show you that again. It is like so. In this corner here, left click the mouse, drag it down, drop it underneath where you want it to be. Whoops. And that way everything shows up. Now, where's the grey tarp? So what I'll do is I get the bucket fill, and now I'll fill it in, and that has now changed that area to grey. So now we'll save that, export to. Again, I've already made sure that all my compression ratios and whatnot are correct. So now when I do this, hopefully it will come up black with a grey tarp. Boom, there you go. Black with a grey tarp. So that's how you do a paint job. That's the sides and the top. Now if you want to do the front and back, I'll show you how to do that. And what we do is this. We go to Open. We find Trailer Front. Click on that. Open it. Say OK. And now this is the front of the trailer. This is where this comes in handy. Now what I do is I drop that on here. As you can see, it's too big. So we press Shift S and the scale comes up. We can now scale that down to roughly what size we want. I'm thinking a bit smaller than that. Maybe even a bit smaller, just to be on the safe side. And roughly center it, scale it. If you're not happy with it, hit the Move tool up here, click on it, use your arrows. I'm going to go down a bit and across a bit. And I'm going to say that's roughly center. Now again, without changing anything, we're going to overwrite that trailer front and have a look at it in game and see what it looks like. And it hasn't come up. Why didn't it come up? Let's find out. Good that that's happened. So we can see what's going on. Export as. Make sure we're in grain hopper. Trailer front. DDS. Export. Replace. Make sure, which they are, they're all fine. Export. And we should go back in. And it's not working. Why is it not working? Let's find out. Let's do this. Let's change it. Don't pay any attention to the pink. That's from a previous one. There we go. I had to get out of the paint job and back into it. I'm sorry. My fault. So, as you can see, boom, there it is there. That's the front. It's covered up a bit by that, but we know it's roughly in the center. That's where we wanted it. So now we can go back to the paint program. We can do what I did before and pick a background color. Again, I'm going to choose black, background, click OK, drag it down so it's underneath that. Now that background color is there. So we know now, if I go File, Export, back into the game, and again, we'll change completely the paint job, come back, bang, it's nice and black, as you can see. So now I'll do the rear, go back to the paint program, open the back of trailer or rear, open that, say OK, drag my logo onto it, drop it in there. Again, press Shift S to scale it, bring it down to the size or bring it up to the size that you roughly want, which would be about there. Drag it into position, roughly say yes, hit the move tool, and then center it where you want it. Looks about the right height, needs to come across a bit. Probably about there, I think. And again, I'm not being precise. You just got to be fairly roughly where it is. Now we'll go back out, change the paint job, and there it is. And again, now what we'll do, because we know it's roughly where we want it, come in, hit that, make sure you got your background color or your black color chosen, drag it down underneath. Now we export again. That's a good thing about this. You can do it while it's in the game, check position, make sure everything's working right. Bang, there we go, fully painted with my logos using Paint Job Packer and the templates it provides. And again, remember that the templates should be, again, watch that video that I did before about Paint Job Packer and how to load it into your game and activate it. Once that's done, then you can start changing it and doing this here. Now, again, I'll do one more quickly. If you're bored, you can leave now. If not, I'll show you another one just in case you want to watch that. So now we'll go with the 20 foot or whatever it is, the smaller one, the 28 foot. So we click on that and we open, say OK. And again, you can see you've got your template. Now it is way smaller. So what we do is we drag this onto it, drop it on. You can see it'll be too big. So we'll press Shift S and we'll scale it down so that it will fit onto there. Roughly, actually that was pretty good, pretty close. All right, and we'll drop it roughly there. And all we'll do now is save it to see where it is so we can get it positioned correctly. Go back into the game, choose the 28 footer and see where it is. And that's actually pretty well spot on. I love it when a plan comes together. And as you can see, the front and rear are already on there because we've already done that, but there's nothing on that side. So now we'll do that side, the other side. And all we do again is make sure we've got the move tool, click on it, go to layer, duplicate layer, drag that up and place it roughly where that other one is. Go across a little bit there. And export or overwrite. Go back into the game, go off of it, back onto it. And yeah, I think they can come over a bit. Yep. Okay, so now we go back to the program. Whoops. And we bring it across this way a bit more. That looks a bit better. About there. Export. Out. In. Check it again. That looks better. Okay. So now we do the final piece. It's quite easy when you get used to it. And background color, which is black. Drag it down. Drop it underneath. And overwrite. Go back into the game, check it. Make sure it's worked. Boom. There you go. Oh, guess what I forgot? Let's go back. Now you may say, oh, how do you find that? Well, that's quite easy. I can turn this off, right? Because now what I want to do is I want to turn that to grey. So see what we're doing. I just switch it on or off, that layer, and it opens it up for me again. So now I go back to that, the rectangular select, go like so, turn it back on, get my bucket fill, drop it in there, save it, overwrite, go back into the game. You can see that was black. Now it's grey. And now you're finished doing your paint scheme for that. Now again, if you want to get fancy and put lines or pictures of stuff on there, not a problem. That's quite easy to do. As you can see, it's extremely easy once you know how. And that's how you do it. So hopefully that's helped you out, guys. If it has, give me a thumbs up. If I've done something that's offended you, give me the thumbs down. And again, like I say, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. You might as well. It helps me out. And that's what it's all about, guys, is helping each other out. Also, don't forget the VTC if you want to join. Start coming on convoys with us, doing events. And you never know, you might be sporting one of these great paint jobs, paint schemes on your trailers once you've joined. Anyway, hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, maybe we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.